So like after a show, you said you suffered depression. Do you ever go through a depression and then you have to come out of it?
No, I used to in the 90s, but now I'm too old for that.
Well, good to hear that.
I'm too old for
Good
depression,
to hear
man,
that.
because I've traveled a lot. I've seen.
Is it because you've met many other people who you can relate to?
Who are worse.
Okay.
Even some who have everything and they're depressed. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. What are you depressed about? It's money, right? You've not made money. Okay. But what is money? Money is colored paper. Money has no value. It's paper. This is value. It's a structure. Money has no value. We were fooled into thinking it does. Once you leave home with a bag of money, by the time you go back home, half the bag is, where is that money gone?
Sometimes you're like, what happened?
The piece of land doesn't move. Never. That was the wealth for our ancestors. They never had money. I have 10 goats, I'll give you 2 goats, you give me 3 chicken.
Yeah.
Once colored paper entered our psyche, families were split. What do you think they're fighting over? People are not fighting over property. They're fighting over color money.
Yeah.
If you think they're fighting over property, just bring a bag of money. And say, no, okay, let's not share this house. You just take that bag of money. I'm like, okay, fine. So people have no clue. And it's spirituality that leads you to know all these things.
Yeah.
So if somebody says, oh, you know what? I'm going to sell our family land. Even my brothers and sisters won't know. And I'm going to get 600 million. So they sell it. They buy a Range Rover. Then they have Crystal right here. Everybody say, oh, see that guy with his babe, and go into an apartment and start renting in Nakasero.
So how long can you do that? And then you have nothing.
You're poorer than when you had your land. So people fail to understand that.
But we see families who had so much
and you can't go back.
Next generation.
You've sold family land.
Oh God.
Your brothers and sisters hate you. You've spent the money. No money is enough.
Yeah.
None. No money is enough. So money is just color paper. Somebody printed something, put a picture, and said, now that is worth $100, and it is worth your car. A piece of paper. You know how much engineering goes into doing a car? Okay, how about land?
That's very depressing when you put it like
that. How about land where you can have plants grow, chicken roaming? A plant grows, you eat matoke for generations. You even know what is under there. So how do you put a value on and say, that is worth $500? 1, 2, 3 notes. How many blades of grass are there? Do you know how they grow? And you tell me it's worth 5 pieces of paper. So people put too much value on paper.
Sorry.
And when they put too much value on paper and lose relationships, they lose their spirituality, they lose their culture,
they lose their self-worth,
they lose everything. For paper, that paper can do anything. You know what I'm saying? So that depression issue, you have to put it into perspective, you have to understand people are going through stuff, man.
So for all the years you did the jazz safari, what was the biggest challenge for you?
Convincing people jazz means anything. Because when we started, people have tried before. Alex and Daula had a jazz show.
Yeah. To do just purely jazz.
Raymond Biabazaire, Dansan Bagenda. These are guys who did put a lot of effort before we even knew what jazz was. Yes, the jazz gatherings, they all stopped. The support wasn't there.
Why do you think people... Is it a lack of education?
No. Jazz is a preference, It's a taste. You just have to have a taste for it. It's one option. Country, classical, jazz. So it's not easy to digest for some people. But with time, people, we gave them the option.
Because you seem to make a compromise at some point when you even changed the jazz and soul.
No, we had to. You look at, is there a jazz festival? That is a jazz festival anymore? Look at all the biggest of them, in America. Playboy, this, that, the jazz cruise. Most of that music comes from jazz anyway. So they will have Lala Hathaway, Jonathan Butler, Gerard Albright, then they'll have Kenny Lattimore. You know,
Yeah.
how do they survive?
They have to
Jazz stations in
compromise
America are
somewhat.
closing. Jazz festivals are closing. Doesn't make commercial sense anymore. So people now say, okay, what is closer to jazz? You know, so they bring Tony Braxton, then they bring Lyric now. So they kind of serve both crowds.
Yeah.
That's how it's working.
Okay.
In the Cape More, then they have, what's his name? Kim. Yeah, people like Kim. So they get guys who are closer to jazz, put them there. So when we started, you know, because when the Elijahs were
So
playing.
then you can market to more than just the people
Yes,
who appreciate.
because Elijah was playing just jazz on Radio 1, Elijah Tshaka, but he was also putting, you know, some Masekela songs when he's singing and Makeba, and, you know. So we decided, okay, those few people who are listening to jazz, let's do a gathering. So that's how Jazz Safari started, you know.
Okay.
Because I kind of, we had taken reggae to a point whereby it's everywhere. The church, where everybody's doing reggae. there isn't much more I could do.
Okay.
So jazz came into, you know, so we started doing the Jazz Safari. You know, started in a car park, Serena, like that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Getting people to appreciate it
Yes.
is a tricky bit.
And sticking to it. We were lucky because the system made sure, you know, like when Nile Gold came on board, Nile Gold is, you know, for the whole survival of Jazz Safari, Nile Gold.
Yeah.
You know, so Nile Gold now gave us the platform. You know, when the owners of the company changed, and Nile Gold was being removed, Johnny Walker came on board, and it was pretty much a property they should have taken in the first place, you know, because it's about taste and, you know. So it was the perfect fit for them too.
Okay.
But they always wanted the property after Nile Gold had built it, you know. But you don't forget Tshaka.
Yes,
The
as
first
well.
jazz ones were Tshaka, because I did, and the albums I did with Prangmo were
Yeah.
Tshaka sponsored partly.
Yes. Actually,
You know?
your first album was what, 2004? Was that your
My
first?
for jazz,
Which one was your first album?
93. Those were reggae.
93?
I did so many reggae albums before.
Oh, so your first jazz album
Yes.
was in 2004.
So jazz we did, Angela Cowley's Dark Chocolate,
Uh-huh.
Tshaka. Then we did Pragmo's 4 albums. You know, we're doing now jazz albums.
So how
so-
many albums have you done?
Done and released, maybe about 10.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 only, I think. But I've written so many songs, like 700, like 1,000 actually.
So what's your plan?
They're in
Do
the
you
file.
go back to look at
They're
them?
in the file.
Do
I
you-
don't go back.
So you've just kept them.
Yeah, they're in the file somewhere.
So you keep
But-
writing new material.
I'd stopped for a long time because I'd written too much. So I'd stopped for years. This year I wrote a whole album, a reggae album, which I'm working on. Because I hadn't done a reggae album for years. But I wrote it in days. You know, I just tested myself and said, okay, can I still? So I wrote a song. I can write a song in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Words and everything. So at times I was thinking maybe I was going crazy, so I stopped.
Because you're talking to other people who are struggling.
Yeah. But now I just recorded some songs, you know. They haven't been done yet because I'm trying to get something well done, you know. So I involved some musicians from England, from Chronix's band, to get the proper reggae sound.
So you're working on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as someone who's been in music for 30 years, there was a time where like there were no live bands. Do you remember? Like live music was gone. Apart from, I think it was a free go, and that was all.
I blame Sematimba for that, Peter.
Oh.
And when Peter came from America, we used to hang out a lot, you know. He had some very good music.
Okay.
But Peter was a businessman too. So in '95 when he did the Dungeon Tour, it was the first time I think tracks were used at Logogo. I was even part of that show. So it was just a DJ and trucks and dancers.
Okay.
And it was packed. They went to Masaka. So I think the promoters were thinking,
like, why do we need a band?
yeah, that's when it started, '95. So bands were decimated, totally.
Right.
Totally. So it was just trucks. It made business sense, but it destroyed the industry, the music.
No.
So it wasn't until when we started doing with Elijah actually, because all these boys now are playing in churches,
Mm.
they are saying this is secular music. So with Elijah, when we started doing this jazz thing, slowly by slowly,
You started seeing bands coming up.
Isaiah Katuma, I remember,
Yeah.
he gave me a call. He was in England, very frustrated. I think he called me for 45 minutes. I was at Web City. It was the only internet cafe I used to go. I mean, internet then was. He called me like, here. So I told him, man, you have to plant a seed. You can't just. So he sent CDs. We gave them out. Elijah, the music. That's how he built his thing. So all these guys who are frustrated, we started building platforms for live
Music, yeah.
Right now, even the mainstream artists who used to want to make money.
Now they have to.
Nobody can do a track.
Yeah.
Everybody has to use a band. So all these bands,
that.
all these guys started growing from the time. Right now, there's a band everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a live band everywhere.
That makes
it
you
is even
happy, I'm
saturated.
sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But not all of them are that great.
Yeah, but it's good. I'd rather have a bad live band than tracks. They'll learn. They'll come through. I'd rather have that.
Okay. Well, it's a space for musicians
Yes.
anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what music is about.
So, in 30 years in the music industry, what are the changes that have really stood out for you, especially now? Because you were saying, which musicians have really stood the test of time, for example. But where is
Songwriting.
music now for you?
Songwriting kind of took a dip. The good thing instrumentals came up, but songwriting kind of dipped also. It hasn't, because people used to write songs that we still listen to after years. But it's not just a Uganda problem, it's a global issue.
Yes, a global thing.
So commercialization, record companies are not investing in musicians anymore. They merged, they became these big conglomerates. So indie companies, the so-called independents,
Yeah,
if you go down there, the music is incredible.
that's where it is.
So they started creating their own platforms. But the mainstream runs radio stations. They have the money. So all this music you hear is mainstream music.
You have to go digging.
You have to be, that's what I'm saying. Now there are so many platforms where you can find Raphael Sadiq or other people like that. But you have to have that hunger. It is still a disadvantage because mainstream, you don't have to go looking. Is mainstream music.
You have to go digging.
You have to be, that's what I'm saying. Now there are so many platforms where you can find Raphael Sadiq or other people like that. But you have to have that hunger. It is still a disadvantage because mainstream, you don't have to go looking. It's in your face.
It's everywhere.
Okay? Now before, all types of music were in your face and you could choose. Now kids who don't know all this stuff have to, if they don't have that spirit to go and dig, they will never get to know.
So how do we build that hunger? How do
That's
we
what I'm saying.
feed it?
Music needs to choose you to do it because as long as people focus on what they're getting out of music, as long as people focus on that side, they can never grow musically. They will build apartments and after that they will leave music because now they've got what they want. That's why you see a flood of people joining politics now. They were never musicians in the first place. Music gave them what they wanted: a house, a car, fame. What's the next big step? A big name. So music is a lot of things to a lot of people. Once you go into that to get that, it will give you that, but it will throw you out. You can't. People now think of even competition. Oh, these young boys are coming. What can we do? How can you think like that? Competition. It's not football. We still listen to Miles, who died. We still listen to B.B. King. They're not even here. And we can still listen to Bruno Mars, who's new. Or you can still listen to Kev Moore, who's younger.
There's room for everyone.
Yeah, there's room for everyone. So why do you think there's competition? Why do you try to, It's incredible. But that tells you who is the musician and who is the artist and who isn't. Many of them are
Isn't it
businessmen.
about the ego as well, though?
Business. If we wake up tomorrow and bricklaying makes a lot of money, people will go and do bricklaying. They'll leave music. This started in 2000, around there when MTN was putting in a lot of money. Nile breweries in promotion. Remember when they were building equity? Music was making a lot of money for a lot of people. So everybody said, what? I'm going to stop hawking. Let me get
And
my
everyone
savings
wanted
and go
be
to
a
the studio.
musician. Yes, yes.
You have 100 stations. They will play anything. When we were starting music, there was one station. Everybody had to be played on one station. And that station was not 24 hours.
Yeah. So there was just a small pool
Thank
and
you
you
very
all had
much.
to find.
There was a whole committee that used to decide which
So
song
you
will
had
be.
to excel to be
Uh
able
huh.
to.
There was a committee that decided what song is going on is good enough
Yeah.
out of all this. Now you can't. And if you don't play, I'll go elsewhere. So the quality is struggling. But there are some good things coming out, especially in popular music, in pop music. In pop music, there are some who are doing music, because you also need music for people to jump around. So there are those who are doing it well,
Yeah. Yeah. There's some people who are able
to do the
actually
pop,
bring
because
the
it has
two.
always existed,
Yeah.
For every Curtis Mayfield or Teddy Pendergrass, there was somebody doing something that was pop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was, but it was all good still. But what we have a problem now is that you have people who are doing this, and very few people being given a chance to do the other alternative music.
Yeah.
They're not getting the space. That's why we did the Jazz Safari and all these things, for those guys to be on the big stage. That's why we avoid mainstream musicians on our stage. They're already overplayed.
Okay.
They're played everywhere. And then you get guys like Migade or Lawrence, on bass, or all these younger guys, the Ronnies, people who you'll never get a chance if you don't go to the National Theatre. You'll never see them on the big stage. So there's no point putting a mainstream who has videos on stage when we have these guys who never. That's it. That's on the show where they'll have same PA, same rig. If it is Keith Sweat playing on stage, they're gonna play on the same stage. So they'll get that.
So is that part of your motivation?
Oh, yeah.
Because you have big plans. Even before we started, I was like, how are you going to have how many bands?
7.
7 bands.
It shows you where we've come from. Where we were doing shows before on wooden stages, all the equipment we had to ship in. Andrew Ugasira and all these people, they gave up. Everything used to come. We used to carry desks in small vans in England at the airport. Drums, 2 people, Imagine importing drums, and
You had to bring everything in.
right now you can do a show here without importing a single thing.
Yeah, you have people who set up.
So if we used to give people a chance then on the stages, the Baby Cool started on, got the exposure. But when Buju was here, those are the first shows where they, Chameleon with Shanks and all these people.
Yeah.
So we still do it now, But now, live instrumentalists, that's what we're looking for. So we're going to have 7 bands.
Because I'm thinking by the time you have 7 bands, what you're saying, all these people you wouldn't come across ordinarily.
It's a teamwork. Now the team that we planned for this thing for months.
Yeah.
So we have engineers coming from Spain, from England, from Belgium, So we're giving Maya the same set as we're giving Migade, who you've never heard of.
Okay. Okay.
Or Ken Mugabe or whoever. Same stage, same lighting engineer, same everything. So the engineer will know that they will give the same. You know what I'm saying? And that's a privilege, So these things are planned. You're saying, okay, there are festivals in the whole world where there are 20 bands, 30, 40. How do they do it?
But don't they do that like over a course of 3
Even
days?
like Rototom and all these things. Even if it's over 3 days, on the one day Glastonbury, they have all these many stages. How do you think they do it?
Okay.
So this is just one stage. Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, I like that. It's like
It's
one
just one
It's
stage.
no big deal.
We have to start somewhere, We So that's why it's the old music safari, you know. So 30 years, what have I learned in 30 years,
Yes.
really?
That's what you're
If I
trying
can't do
to
7 bands, you know, what am I doing? It should be 50 bands.
Do you ever feel like sometimes you put so much pressure on yourself?
I don't think I even put pressure on myself.
No?
But I don't like mediocre, mediocrity, especially music. Music, it kills me. You know, it has to be done proper. Music has to be, even the show, the event, the experience. You know,
It has to be right.
even if you have 1,000 shillings, that 1,000 has to go to that event to make sure, you know. So yeah, actually, yeah, I do put, I'll call it pressure, but it has to be done that way. It's like somebody, like a chef. Do they put pressure on themselves? They put, the passion is there that they, you know, after somebody eats, it says, who's the chef? You know,
Yeah.
a painter. Everything you do, you have to be the best, you know. Do it to your best possible, you know. It's important. It's very important. Otherwise, you're not respecting people. You need to respect people.
You mentioned Maya, and she's a headliner for this all music safari. How did you decide on Maya? Because you said before you try to stay away from people who are all over the place, who are very popular. Was that part of the reasoning? How did you settle on her?
That's one, but I've always considered pedigree.
Okay.
Even for the jazz safaris. How many years have you been doing music? How many songs do you have? If you can choose a guy who's a hit now, and they have 2 songs. People have paid all this money to come and watch 2 songs.
It's a running joke. You have an
You know
album launch with 3 songs.
Yeah. So if she's been in the music 20 years, so has Keith Sweat, Joe, all these people that we do. So people come and pay money, and they watch a 1.5 hour show.
And it's a performance.
Yeah, UB40.
Yeah.
It's a performance, and there are many, you know. So somebody can't pay for a 5-course meal and you give them starters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so there's fast food and there's soul food. So we try to do the one that takes luombo, and then they smoke in their eyes, and they remove the scales from the fish. Then by the time that food comes, it has gone through. But when you taste it, you need to sit down, take off your shirt, even sweat a bit, you know. But fast food, chips, you walk eating, you know, and toss out the paper.
I like that.
And it's not even
There's
healthy.
fast food and there's soul food.
Yeah, and it's not even healthy, you know. So Maya, you need to read her story, you know. She running her own company, you know, her own record label, and what she went through, and you know, and what she did before this Destiny's Child, and so she set a lot of trends, by the way, like the whole sport outfit things and hip hop. No girl had done that before. So she can sing.
She can sing. She can sing.
She can sing. She's a violinist. She's this. She's that. Her dad is an R&B singer.
She was a dancer as well, a professional dancer.
She's a
wasn't
dancer. You know, she does a lot of social work too, a lot. You know, so good to be a musician, but even a good person. So I have terabytes of data that I go through to point to a musician.
Okay.
You know, and I'm always about revealing musicians to people or showing them. Same way I was shown when we had all these stacks of records. Nobody forced me, but they put them there. It's your choice. How would I have discovered Bob Marley? How would I have discovered Ray Charles? They say, okay, what is this? Ah, a guy putting on glasses. Okay, put on the LP.
I was just saying the other day.
Okay, I like that. I don't like that. How, you know, it's like food. How do you know what food to eat?
Yeah, true. I was saying the other day that I miss the time when you'd watch a movie for the first time and you knew nothing about it.
Yep.
Or you heard a song and you knew nothing. It was like this brand new experience. Now with the marketing in the world today, it's just this overload coming your way.
You don't know what to get. You don't know what is real, what isn't, unless you're really interested and you dig deeper.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't like people who are lazy when it comes to art and things. People need to, if you love music, you really need to love music, you know? So even the musicians I work with, I pick, some are not even the very best, but they're disciplined.
Yeah.
Or you know, things like that, that make the whole spectacle what we want it to be.
Okay. So you talked about, as in your opinion, you feel like we've lost value in so many things.
Yeah.
What are the things that you, from your journey, you believe we should really pay attention to? We should focus. We should not forget.
First and foremost is roots. Roots and culture. It's who you are. Because you're born, the Creator's firstborn child is culture. Because you're born in a culture. You're not born in a religion or a belief. People choose. I say, okay. I don't like this. Tomorrow I'm going to become a Catholic. That is your choice. But you don't choose who you are. You're born. Your parents then choose who they are either and way back, and nobody chooses. So your firstborn child is, where are you born?
Okay.
If it is a seed, where was it planted? If you take maize and you plant it in a chisenyi, probably won't grow. But if you put yams know where they have to grow.
It's funny, people when they're young, they try so hard to run away from their roots. Then when they get older, they come back.
Just look at chicken. Or any animal. Because I go to the village a lot on Wednesdays and the hills and all that. And so I was there and I was asking, there was this hen with this chick. So it entered the house, 6 sharp. So I asked my mom in the village, why is this one? This one only had, only one chick came out of the eggs, but this one has its corner there in the house or in the sitting room, under a chair. I said, but the others, I said, this one, we don't know this one. So this one knows.
At 6
I have my one chick, the others have many, so I don't want that confusion. Let me go and, and I follow these chicks. Every time I go back, I say, this one is good. I said, but the chick, now the mom starts pecking the kids. Because now he doesn't want to eat with them. Because now you're grown. They show you how to. Because the mom digs out the ants or whatever, and the chick eats. Mom digs, chick. With time, I see the mom now pecking the kid. Now they're fighting for food. So now you have to.
Yeah, now you have to.
I see it with cats too.
Yeah.
A lot. Wild cats.
Yeah.
I see how they grow. This is nature. This is no. Do they go to a school? Is there a school for teaching these things? Why do we always go to school for everything? Oh, there's a mom's class. Oh, there's how to bring up kids class.
There's education everywhere around us.
There's no manual. Who taught our people, 500 years, who was teaching them? They had a granny who was there, or say, now you do this, you do that. They didn't go to a school. What your granny teaches you is not what the other granny is teaching, because they are different. The only thing that unites them, maybe they're the same culture. So, no, this is what we do. But if you go to the next village and it's another culture, say, you do it that way. No, we don't do that way. We do it this way. And the whole, everything was a village or a community. Let's put it that way.
So roots are important.
People have to go to that because that is your IMAI. It is your chassis that you can't change. So, he has died. Let's check the DNA. It's your DNA. That's it. It's yours.
So that's important.
People have to, once you don't know that, then you don't value anything. How can you value anything if you can't value the seed that brought you on earth? So people have to go back to who they are, not what they want to be. You can't be what you can be. You can choose to be whatever, but down, when they're going to bury you, they say, throw there and they'll be okay somewhere. Others they put, because we don't know where this one came from. They put them in a limbo, public cemetery.
Yeah.
You know what that means in Africa here? That one. We don't know where that one came from. So, like a dog, just throw you in a jirikiti, as they say. That can't work. So it means it's important. This one, that one. That one's where they came from here. Okay. Now you're selling all those. People are selling where they're buried.
Yeah.
So they have no, just bury them.
But
you're dead. Since you're dead, it doesn't matter. So let's sell. And that's where people don't walk the journey of spirituality. When you die, your spirit knows where your housing is. Your body is like a housing.
Okay.
The spirit knows, and it will know that I was buried here. That's why you see people who are saying, I dreamt, my granny was saying, my grave is leaking. Now, if they say that we really die, why is that dream coming that the grave is leaking? That, I'm feeling cold. But you're dead. It means people that, the spirit must go back to that spot. So if they just throw you on the roadside, those are the spirits that you see roaming around, that people use to do all sorts of things.
Who cannot rest.
So until people understand, like I told you, there is a spirit for everything. Even money itself is a spirit that disorganizes everybody. Everybody gets disorganized by it. Families are breaking up, churches, respectable people. For what? What do you think it really is? A piece of paper, like the exercise books we used to read. There's no difference between money and the newspaper.
Wow.
It's all paper.
I think we're even going to wrap up on that. But yay! I don't even want to look at my handbag right now.
You know, yeah, if you came with 50K, you're leaving it here on this cocktail. That's it.
And it's gone. How do you protect yourself then?
You can only do so much. Your kids, they always run to you when they have a problem. But if one decides to rebel and runs, they say, yeah, I'm grown. And they go and they meet problems there. When the phone call come to you again, they say, okay, she's my mom. What will she do? Let me call. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. That's the link that we broke. Our ancestors. You know, do you still have a granny? Do you have grannies? Some of us don't have grannies.
Yeah.
I think I have one on my mom's side. But, you know, even when you're an adult, you used to go, and there was this granny of yours who was like 70 or 80. She said, oh, come and sit here. And she would I break her bones? And if you refuse, they will really feel bad.
Yeah.
So come and, she'll say, come and sit here. Do you know what that means? She knows you're heavy, or he knows.
But come and I carry you.
Come and I carry you here. Those connections. That's why marriages, everything is gone. There's no bond. Nobody's guiding you. So how do I protect myself? I can only do so much. So I have people who are guiding me. Some are here, some are no longer here. The majority are no longer here, you know. But they find you. Why? How do they find you? The example I gave you, if your child keeps a bond with you, even when they grow up and have their own children, they say, but how did mom do this? They come back.
Yeah.
That the people broke that. I don't break that because I can't see them with my eyes. I know they are there.
So
they are there in the
the
spirit.
people who are gone.
Oh yes. If you give yourself to them, they'll, you know, people fear the spirit. People fear, oh, those are ghosts. Oh,
Yeah, they fear what they don't understand.
Oh, that is satanic. What is Satan? We don't even have that in our vocabulary. In African spirituality, there's no word Satan. It doesn't exist. We don't know who that. Somebody who tempts people. We don't know that. We only know good, just like we have good and evil in humanity. Even on the other side, there's good and evil. You just have to know where the good is and where the evil is, and you avoid. Same way. So, there are thieves there. You don't pass there. Even in the spiritual world, same. It's the same thing. Good and evil. Your own grandmother who gave birth to your dad. You're special to that person. I've told you when you go and they say, come and sit here, when they're alive, even when they're not here with you physically, it's the same love they have. So, you need to find out, how do I have this problem in my marriage? What do I do? You can go to where they're buried and just stand there. Clean around. Families should do this every time. Oh, let's go and where they're buried and clean and show it's their resting place. Let's go and clean. Tell them what you want. So my marriage is this and that, but nobody's answering you, but you're laying out.
A place that is...
You clean where they are and leave and go, you'll see. So, she left Kampala and drove to Fort Portal. Just to come and... our granddaughter has problems. We need to help her. But for you are here in Kampala, we have all these problems. Okay. Now she's in Kampala. Let her go to counselors. Total mess. The other one is free, just fuel money, drive. Go and see them. Resting place. Clean it.
But you have to be open though. You have to be open to accept that.
You will be shocked what you will talk there. It will be the best counseling you ever
So
get.
you're saying you've done this?
Not once, not twice, maybe twice a month.
Okay.
In the night too,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to go to different places, and by the time it's night, time is late. That's when I go. See our ancestral home. Have a cup of tea. The sun, the moon is up there, the stars, silence. Just banana plantations. Then I go to the area where everybody is buried and say, okay, my brother is there, my dad's mom, my dad's dad, his brother. Everybody that you never even saw is in one place. One people that died before you were born. Where will you ever get a chance? Everybody is in one place. So you just stand there and thinking, okay, this is where I'm going to end up. So people think they'll be here in town. You're going to end up here. So I told Nanu say, we don't know this one. For you, you've gone after, I don't know, for you in England. Now think people used to walk. There were no cars. People used to walk and go and clean where their ancestral places are. And clean, and the family is gone, the children are told. That's what it's about. They are told, oh, this is your grandmother, he came from whatever, this is whatever, this one is this one's daughter. Oh, okay. So they know where they came. That's what it's about. People take taxis. People used to walk. Now you have a car. You can't put 50K that you spend in a club or in massage, I don't know where.
Or in a meal.
On a meal. You can't put 50K to drive, to go and pay attention to where you come from. People, for all these things add up. So if anybody thinks they can walk through this earth here without the guidance of those who are here before you, you're wasting time. There's no panya. Just think of it. If you go to see the CEO of Stanbic, okay, MD, you just walk into the office. How long will it take you to even make the appointment? How about the president? Oh, quarter guard, protocol, this, that. And these are human beings. These are just human beings. We went to school with them, even some of them. And you can't see them. So how do you think you can reach the Creator without going through? Or for us, we just go and kneel at the cross and direct. Okay, fine. It is funny because that person on the cross, even he had to go through. Because the Bible says, before he was crucified, he cried at the mountain. He cried blood.
Yeah.
And what happened? The disciples said, oh, there are 3 men who are around the guy. The guy is in pain. I don't know how they knew who the guys were because there were no cameras, but they just said, that's Moses, that's Elijah, and that's his ancestors. They've come to comfort him. This is in the book people are reading every day.
Yeah.
But I can't go to my ancestors that I know my blood. This is my dad, my mom, and I can't go to them. Oh, but Jesus can.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't want to be crucified. If he did, he wouldn't have cried blood. That Father, why am I? Why?
Yeah.
And what happened? His judges came. That's what the Bible says. Oh, that is Abraham or what Moses and who? But those are his judges. They came and say, oh, Jesus, don't
That's
worry.
so interesting. Those are his judges.
This is painful, but that is your calling. You have to go through it. It's the exact thing. An elder told us every time there's an elder we meet, very, 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 very fully immersed in spirituality. He told us, in my bed, under my pillow, there's a Bible. He's a traditional spiritual guy.
Okay.
We asked him that, why are you mixing things? He says, if you want to understand our spirituality as Baganda or as Banyoro, bring your Bible and read the Old Testament. I can show you word for word that everything they do in the Old Testament, they got it from here. And he will win the argument, hands down. He will show you, see this one? This one he was talking to, he will tell you the version of. He will tell you this is whatever, and this is what whatever does. Every area has that. Every indigenous area has the same structures. So I don't know why you jump here to Arabia. I don't know you are Islam. I don't know what. People need to. It all came from here. Why do you think people are running to the Nile? People are running, everybody, Japanese, Indians, what, everybody. People think Uganda is, oh, Uganda, it's beautiful climate. People have wanted to come here for hundreds of years. Oh, we're looking for the source of the Nile. What exactly are they looking for? They are looking for spirituality because it all comes from Narubale here. Every single one of them, Mountain of the Moon, what they call Naruba, that is where it is. Ask any Jew, ask any Indian. Don't you find Indians doing ceremonies at?
The bank of
Ask
Nile.
any Musinga, the Sikhs, where their prophets came from. Ask any of them. So people think Uganda here, oh, that we are beautiful people. People are flocking here. No. People are looking for something, and they've been looking for it for years. And we're going to lose it all. So the guy says, read your Bible. Here, there God is saying, my children of Israel, I've taken you to the land of milk and honey. I've given you everything. I chased out people from this land and gave it to you. But now you've dumped me and you're worshipping other gods. I'll take this land away from you and give it to strangers. It's in the Bible. So the guy says, now you think about where you come from. You've been given this land. It could have been anybody here. It could be Finnish people living here. But you have it. But you've chased me away. You've dumped us. We who created this place for you. Okay. We'll give it to others to take. What do we have left now? We failed to follow our roots. We failed to follow our creator. We are following other people's creator. It is in the Bible. So let them move us and give the land to somebody who's willing to follow. And that's what's going to happen. All these things are in the Bible. People don't read the Bible. So the guy says, if you want to understand your spirituality here, Old Testament, everything that I need to tell you, just translate that. Because the Bible is 6,000 years old.
Yeah.
Only 6,000. We are here before that, man. It's only 6,000. So people need to dig deeper. And nobody can teach you this. You have to open your mind.
And it's a journey you have to open yourself
You have to make it. I want to be a doctor. Nobody just becomes a doctor. They go through nights being awake.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing. We find people in the hills who've never left. They're just in the hills. No shoes, nothing. They can never leave. They have to light fires every day. And the fire cannot go out. 24/7. Can you imagine, half of us were here in town. Today I'm going to, what are we doing today? There are people who are just there,
Their lives are dedicated to that.
You know what I'm saying? So who are you? For you just walk in and kneel at the cross. People have been stoned, man. People have been speared. Or for you just walk to the, okay, sin and go to the cross, So that stuff we left behind.
Okay, well, we're out of time. But that is a very interesting perspective.
Yes, it's important to know who you are. Very important. It's even important who you shake hands with. It's important who you get into a relationship
you give
with.
Energy to.
Yes. You need to be very careful. Did you watch The Matrix? Where do these things come from, you think? They get all these things from here. That there's another world elsewhere. And it does exist. So somebody can just want to harm you and they just shake your hands. And that's it. Oh, we are going to bury and everybody jumps in the same car. You don't know everybody's intentions. Somebody has decided, there are a lot of things that happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Hey, for leaving us now thinking.
Yeah. So we're not just musicians, we're human beings too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, pleasure, my dear. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And we're looking forward to the show.
Oh, yes, I'll see you there, definitely.
30 years. Hey.
Yes.